Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor at the Tenkar's Tavern blog. So, I have a piece of artwork up. I found it on DeviantArt. It's by Shabazik. So, Dwarf Poacher, because I was looking for poacher artwork. And why am I looking for poacher artwork? Well, listen, this has been an issue that I've noticed in some of my games, whether as a player or as a DM since I was in high school. And the idea is somebody in your party goes, "Oh, I'm a woodsman in my background. I'm a ranger. I'm a hunter." So as the party goes and traverses across the world, I'm going to hunt or I'm going to gather nuts and fruit or whatever. Now, put this in perspective, folks. Have you ever gone, I don't know, blueberry picking? Okay, it's a very time intensive activity when you're out there, even if you find a great patch of blueberries, and I certainly did this in my younger years, you are spending, I don't know, an hour or two, and maybe you're getting a coffee can, a small coffee can full of berries. So it is time consuming. You're not doing this as your party is walking along uh, a path or through the woods or crossing rivers and streams. And you're certainly not hunting when you're doing this. Your party is likely made up of people with plate mail armor, chainmail armor. You've got pack mules, you've got weapons clinking away. So, very few animals are going to cross your path while you're doing this. Now, there may be, I don't know, maybe if your rangers could go, "Oh, I'm going to scout ahead a half mile in front of the rest of the party." Well, great, then you are on your own, right? So yes, the ranger has a less. If you're playing classical D&D like AD&D, the ranger, well, probably won't be surprised when he's out hunting. But now you've left the party behind, and they're more likely to be surprised. And guess what? If they are surprised, they've got one less ranger, one less fighting class to protect them. So I've never understood it. I've always had an issue with it. This claim that, oh, we don't need to get supplies, we'll live off the land. It's fine. I mean, if I was a generous DM, I'd say, all right, you get to move at half your movement rate for that day because you're going to spend half your time foraging or half your time hunting or half your time fishing, right? It isn't something like, oh, I just roll the dice and I got a deer. Also, if you do happen to poach the deer, and why am I saying poacher? Why did I bring up poacher? And it happens to be a dwarf poacher, but whatever. Why did I bring up poaching? Because it is quite common that a lot of these lands that the party is traversing are owned by others, whether or considered somebody else's property or rulings, and maybe the local prince or duke doesn't allow hunting on the king's lands without permit, right? Or maybe these lands are uh, ruled by a relatively non-violent orc tribe, but they take their hunting privileges very strongly. And although maybe they coexist with the local humans, the humans know not to go hunting on the orc lands. And here's your party of players, right? The PCs just marching through and killing wild boar, killing a hare, right? And on top of that, when you do happen to kill something, you've got to butcher it. You got to butcher it fairly quickly. You got to skin it. You got to prep it, right? And this takes time, random encounters. Also, you're going to be leaving behind gut and blood. What does that do? It brings around scavengers. So maybe there are coyotes, maybe there are wolves, maybe there are jackals that are going to be attracted by the waste material you're leaving behind from your hunting. So it isn't so cut and dry as some of your players are going to argue it. So again, I'm not saying don't allow it to happen. I'm saying it should slow down the party. It should result in random encounters. If the ranger or hunter is going to be relatively effective, they probably have to be quarter mile, a half mile in front of the party or aside from the party, so to be away from all that noise, and you're thereby splitting the party. Don't give it to players that are trying to make the character more powerful. Go, oh, look, I can just live off the land. Yeah, sure you can. But you're not going to move very far while you're doing so because living off the land takes time. It's often a full-time occupation. So, little things to keep in mind. And if you like this artwork, stevianart.com/Shabazic. I think it's just a great piece of art. I really like that style. And I happen to like dwarves. So, what do you want? And I happen to also think about poaching. Because, again, when your players are traveling these lands, there's this assumption that's default that nobody rules it, even when it's ruled, right? Or nobody cares what you do on it. But in my own family history, my grandfather was a poacher in Yugoslavia prior to World War II, and spent time in a local lord's prison for poaching because he was poaching on the prince's lands. Why not use certain? You can use that to add a little depth to your campaign, right? Add a little, I don't want to say drama, but yeah, drama. And just don't give them the free rations. Why should you? Make them work for it or pay for it, right? All right, folks, on that note, be safe, be well, God bless, roll those dice, roll them well. I'm sorry, I'm a bit giddy. I had a great day, great morning this morning. I will be back with another video tomorrow, live stream on Wednesday night. Special guest or not, I do not know yet. I will let you know when I do. All right, folks. Oh, and if you go to DriveThruRPG, there'll be a pinned link at the end in the comment section. There'll be a pinned comment. Please feel free to go there and shop. Christmas in July is going on. If you use the link, you help support the tavern. All right, folks.